Hello, my name is Chris Exner. I'm an emergency room doctor. I've worked in Chicago and in Bolivia and now most recently in the coal region here in Pennsylvania. And I was asked to elaborate some on the short piece that I wrote for the gun vigil that I was unfortunately unable to attend. So I'm the, whatever it's called, talking guy for today. I have to confess that I never expected to find myself behind a pulpit, staring down the barrel of a sermon about gun violence. I, after all, grew up an atheist, with a mother who was a 20th century rationalist and a father whose German family had lost religion after the church supported the Third Reich. I confess, because that's what you're supposed to do in church, right? To having been for many years kind of an asshole atheist. In high school and college, when such things seemed important, I used to think of the worldview of my religious friends as a sort of frivolous, willful self-delusion, a child's insistence on the tangibility of their imaginary friend. They, by contrast, probably thought my life to be an exercise in hopeless, bleak despair. After all, they reasoned, what meaning could life possibly have without hope, wonder, or the all-encompassing love of God? Usually, they were too nice to say this to my face. But it is a common mischaracterization that equates atheism with nihilism. I understand that religious contemplation can be a source of wonder and an inspiration to great works. But for the atheist, wonder exists in the world as well, and can be a lot more accessible than some bearded dude on a cumulonimbus throne. I have, over the years, learned to experience wonder in sunsets, in rocks, in the least movements of your pinky finger. It was the last one, actually, that got me into medicine. Okay, well, not your pinky finger specifically, or, well, really, okay, that's getting away from me. Bear with me for a minute. Maybe this will make more sense. Our bodies are made of cells, 37 trillion of them at last count. I'd hate to be the grad student who got that project. Imagine zooming into not the blind dark of our own mind, but one made luminous by imagination, in past the soap bubble skin of our cells, propped up by its spider silk skeleton. See our proteins spooling endlessly from the twisted DNA skyscrapers of the nucleus. See how they twist in million-fold precision. Tiny machines clamp onto these origami masterworks and haul them along filament pathways, assembling microscopic pumps, whiskers, cisterns, claws. Then a thought sweeps in like a storm system. From where? No one knows. But the cell answers with its own cyclone of activity, pulling back molecule-wide sluice gates. Ion geysers erupt in sequence along miles of axon until they reach the end and plunge with a tiny electrochemical puff into a synaptic abyss. A chemical snow settles on the surface of your muscle. More channels open, more geysers erupt, and in an ebbing tide of calcium, a billion microscopic oarsmen strain to heave filaments thinner than thought and stronger than steel. In that fraction of an eye blink, see, as we zoom out again, a single muscle fiber twitch, then tens, then hundreds together, until finally back to the reference point. A finger flexes. Billions of operations to allow us to clench a fist, sip tea politely, or even make a wry, malevolent gesture. And this, just the tiniest mote of a single being in a motley society of billions of beings, each one made of more moving parts than there are stars in our galaxy. This is something where even a godless atheist can glimpse a bit of the divine in this human masterwork of a million moving wheels, the tending of which can be a godless, holy work. At least, I think that way in my better moments when I'm not griping about some dude trying to scam narcotics off of me. Why would someone desecrate this human body with violence? To take a gun to a human body is like licking the Mona Lisa or taking a hammer to Michelangelo's David. Of course, we experience our lives in less lofty, microscopic ways. We experience friendships and families, our school and work and various quotidian concerns. All of us have anger, despondence, flashes of impulse that we would rather not have acted on. It's here that firearms are so pernicious. Violence of some kind always manages to bubble out of us, verbal, physical, or sharply self-directed. A harsh word can shatter a friendship. A fist can break a nose. These can usually be mended. A bullet kills. No takebacks. No do-overs. I, unfortunately, see violence victims virtually every shift I work. It's not like on TV, where paramedics rush a horribly wounded major character to the ER and, with a few deft maneuvers and some tense yet witty banter, they are saved in the allotted 42 minutes. By the way, anyone who wants to write a script, you don't defibrillate people who have been shot. It's bad enough they've been shot already. Why you gotta electrocute them too? Besides, it doesn't work. No, in real life, violence is usually petty, minor, and drunk. Patients with a black eye or needing a couple of stitches are common, but make for terrible TV. Gunshot wounds are certainly more dramatic, orders of magnitude, more dramatic and more severe. The first thing that always impresses me when a patient comes in with one is the pain. The teeth clenched, can't speak, can't think pain, where a person's entire universe has collapsed into a quarter-inch hole of searing lead. And the damage. Fortunately, I don't have to do this anymore, but I can vividly remember the training days of desperate surgery. The lungs collapsed like cellophane bags, the weird, loamy smell of intestines and the acrid smoke of cautery. Then, for those who survive, there remain languishing morphine-laden weeks of recovery. No inch of the flesh or of the mind is safe from maiming by bullet. Usually, the wound is permanent. A more religious speaker might point out at this point that the immortal soul is bulletproof. I cannot agree. To me, a soul is a shorthand. Our aspirations and imaginations, our friendships and ties of kin that make us more than meat robots that come to the ER for repair, but living parts of a society. Guns can wound this, not only in the body that is hit by the bullet. A teenage boy who recovered from his hospital ordeal finds himself forever paraplegic. Is his soul unwounded? Is not a weeping mother maimed, bereft of her beloved daughter? And these, and 100,000 other tableaux of misery unfold every moment of every day in the United States of America. But now we come to the hard part. What to do about it? None of us wants to live in a lawless land where massacre of innocents is part of a new normal. But what is the remedy? Arm everyone, as the orthodox NRA would recommend? Yeah, I really can't wait to take my kids to the OK Corral daycare. Disarm everyone, as the Constitution-hating liberals would recommend? Hi, hon. Powerful, moneyed forces thwart every legal effort. Put on spandex superhero costumes and patrol the night? That's more of a Catholic thing. Perhaps as Unitarians, we might be more effective in reaching out to the isolated, the fuming nihilists whose lives are so bleak that infamy and death and a hail of bullets seem preferable to going on. Perhaps we can find those people, share with them the worth and wonder of living, of learning there is more beauty in the human masterwork than there is joy in the iconoclasm. Perhaps our efforts for education and social justice will do the trick. I'm sure there's more than one criminal living in an area where the only well-paying jobs require guns, who would much prefer jobs where bullet absorption is not part of the job description. Or, perhaps like me, we should just go about our lives and try not to shoot anybody. And if somebody does get shot, just save them with some tense but witty banter and a few deft maneuvers within the allotted 42 minutes exclusive of commercials. Thank you.